What do you make of Harry's visit?
Listen, this visit was a blink and you miss it visit. I mean, he was here for just over 24 hours. Really, there is still a very real rift at the heart of the House of Windsor.
From touchdown to takeoff, I'm outside Buckingham Palace as we break down Harry's whirlwind visit to the UK with two royal experts. All right, let's start with his arrival at the coronation at 10:38 a.m. UK time. What did you make of Harry's arrival walking in to Westminster Abbey?
Harry had always been a beloved member of the royal family, so to arrive at this very celebratory occasion and not be on speaking terms with so many people within his own family, it made for a very uncomfortable arrival.
Did he and William make any eye contact at all?
I couldn't see any sign of eye contact whatsoever.
While Harry sat 3 rows back, often hidden by Princess Anne's red feather, William was front and center and kneeling before his father, the king.
I, William, Prince of Wales, pledge my loyalty to you, and faith and truth I will bear unto you.
After Prince William kissed him, the king smiled. You have to wonder what that moment felt like for Prince Harry, who was exiled to the 3rd row. Then, an unexpected moment, Prince Harry, like so many in the crowd, pledging allegiance to his father.
May the king live forever.
But here's a royal moment you didn't see on TV.
Harry didn't stick around for long.
We can now see Harry leaving the church. He is alone by himself, his family already on their way to Buckingham Palace.
He was out of Westminster Abbey within 10 minutes of the ceremony finished.
Down the street, you can see the King's coach passing Parliament in Big Ben. Meanwhile, Prince Harry still standing in front of Westminster Abbey.
Harry waited outside for his car for 10 minutes, smiled nervously, and then
He climbed into the back seat of a BMW by himself.
And it was clear that he had made his own plans and his own sort of arrangements to get back to California on time.
There are several memes that were made of Harry's facial expressions, first trying to look around Anne's hat, but also the one like he had seen a ghost. What do you think about those memes?
Well, had he seen a ghost or was he being ghosted? I know Harry pretty well. I think, Kevin, that inside he was feeling as crumpled as his Dior suit looked from the back, and that was pretty crumpled.
It has gone viral, the faces he was making during the coronation. What can you tell us?
With Harry, we see sadness, so we see the eyebrows come together, we see the mouth droop. So he was experiencing a combination of kind of frustration, anxiety.
Harry, who flew commercial, landed back in LA at 6:45 Pacific time.
He did make it home in time for the early evening in Montecito, probably to tuck his little son into bed just in time before the end of the day.
Meghan, who stayed behind to celebrate Archie's 4th birthday, was spotted on Sunday hiking near their home in Montecito.
Royal sources say that King Charles actually made a toast to Prince Archie for his 4th birthday and sort of acknowledged the Sussex family who wasn't there.
There was a place set at the table. There was an open invitation. He didn't take it. That was his choice.
Do you think Archie's birthday was used as an excuse?
I think Archie's birthday was very convenient.
Aside from all the Harry drama, the other thing we can't stop talking about, William and Kate's adorable kids, who gave us these shots all weekend long. And then this morning,
Kate is a patron of the Scout Association over here in the UK, and they took all 3 children to a scouting centre. Louis, this was his first public engagement. Now, Prince William didn't carry out public engagement until he was 8.
yeah, that is peak Louis. Shooting arrows, driving a digger with Dad, and of course, acting out.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Charlotte and her woodworking brother George had the same poise we saw Saturday. Cue the King's page.
Fulfilling his duty for the coronation, Prince George helping to carry his grandfather's robe into Westminster Abbey.
The 9-year-old, who's second in line to Grandpa's throne, stood up very straight alongside his fellow pages. They include Camilla's grandsons, Freddie, Louis, and Gus.
He was the youngest one. Everyone else is teenagers. He really took it seriously. You could see him sort of checking that every crease was outside of that robe. It's also a preview of what he may one day experience himself. I think for Princess Charlotte, we really see her taking after her mother, Kate. You know, she's so composed, so put together. She sort of mastered that sort of royal approach to public appearances at a really young age.
And check out Charlotte matching her late grandma, giving this Diana-like stare. But you gotta hand it to Charlotte. Prince William revealed his daughter was very tired after fulfilling her most important role, quote, making sure her little brother behaved.
She took him by the hand and showed him what he needed to be doing. She's a pretty formidable little princess.
She's the one that keeps him in line. It's sweet to be able to see that sort of sibling bond between the two, and I hope that stays, because as we've seen with William and Harry, it is volatile in this environment.
Louis was seen yawning during the service and at one point disappeared. Why? Well, he's 5.
We actually had a little note from Kensington Palace saying that he may retire for the entire ceremony. That was the warning that we were given. He was removed for about 20 minutes, and once he was back in, he was sort of just taking it all in. But yes, there were yawns, there was a little bit of restlessness at times.
The two-hand wave on the balcony was pretty good.
Yes, Louis took the note to wave from his dad and note to the palace. Louis hates flyovers and gets sad when leaving the party.
I love photographing the children. People love seeing the children.
Getty Images royal photographer Chris Jackson captured this spectacular shot, a previously unseen angle of the newly crowned king and queen.
And to kind of take that photo from the room behind, something that's never been done before, was just so special, and it was great to see the reaction. I was pretty nervous about taking the picture. I was just concentrating on getting that shot. It's what the crowd wanted. It was definitely one of those kind of pinch me moments.
Of course, there's secrets behind many of these picture-perfect moments, including Kate and Charlotte's ultimate twinning moment.
I don't know of many little girls that get to wear bespoke Alexander McQueen. They were both twinning it in ivory. It had also been embroidered with the thistle, the daffodil, the shamrock and the rose to represent England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. And they both had these matching headdresses, which were designed by Jess Collette with Alexander McQueen.
Alexander McQueen designed Kate's 2011 wedding dress. The Princess of Wales also paid tribute to the late Princess Diana with these earrings. Meghan made sure she wasn't left out of the discussion. She wore a subtle nod to the People's Princess during her Montecito hike.
She was wearing the Cartier tank watch that once belonged to Princess Diana. I think on a day that was all about Charles and Camilla, those little nods to Diana was just their way of saying that she wasn't completely forgotten.
I spoke exclusively with Queen Camilla's dress designer, Bruce Oldfield.
There was a secret pocket. Don't ask me what you wanted to put in the pocket, but I'm sure it's a tissue or something like that. There was a pocket concealed.
And her dogs were embroidered in there?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, tell me about that.
One of the dogs is the king's and one of them is hers. And his is called Bluebell and hers is called Bess. But don't ask me which one is which.
Camilla wore this priceless piece known as the Coronation necklace. It is made up of 26 massive diamonds and was worn by the late Queen Elizabeth at her own 1953 coronation. And when it came to her crowning moment,
"May thy servant Camilla, who wears this crown, be filled by thine abundant grace."
Camilla wore the Queen Mary's crown, which is made up of more than 2,200 diamonds. King Charles wore 2, starting with St. Edward's crown.
God save the king!
It is a priceless piece, probably the most important piece in that royal collection. You only get to see it on a coronation, and in fact, Charles only wears that crown for about an hour.
Katy Perry also put a royal spin on her coronation outfit. Her lilac Vivienne Westwood ensemble is drawing comparisons to this 1997 look worn by Princess Di. Katy was the selfie queen of the event and went viral with this moment.
Obviously, she didn't see the seating chart, looking for where she is supposed to sit during the ceremony in Westminster Abbey.
Katy was in on the joke, tweeting, "Don't worry, guys, I found my seat." Other stars in attendance?
Emma Thompson was one of the first celebrities cited, and she was with her husband, Greg Wise. Did you know that he played Lord Mountbatten in The Crown?
Now, doesn't that lift the spirits?
Now, First Lady Jill Biden arrived with her granddaughter, Finnegan, and their outfits were chosen to show support for the Ukraine.
There's Oscar winner Dame Judi Dench, Downton Abbey's Maggie Smith. Lionel Richie looked royal and regal. He did a full-on photo shoot before he arrived. But this was the scene outside Westminster Abbey, thousands rallying in protest. One even had to be carried away by his hands and legs. But that wasn't the only drama. A Royal Navy officer and flag bearer collapsed and had to be carried away on a stretcher. More than 20 million watched the coronation. I spoke exclusively with body language expert Darren Standon, who explained exactly what happened here with the king.
What did you make of his body language when he first pulled up in the carriage? According to a lip reader, he was upset and he was saying, you know, why can't we ever be on time?
So when he pulled up, what we saw was his face was quite pale, which says he's had a shift in emotion. And then also his eyebrows came together and then his kind of lips pierced. Now that's what we call a micro-expression of anger. It's an unconscious gesture that we can't control. So that would tie in with what the lip reader says.
How about when he was with William and he seemed to say to him, my boy?
We have this prolonged eye contact. When we look at someone in the eyes for more than 5 seconds, it means that we have trust and deep rapport with that person. William and Kate, I feel they're being prepared to become king and queen. And I've been assessing these for about a decade, and we've seen their confidence grow in great leaps.